All right, thank you so much for joining us. It's time for us to have another interview with another very important personality. Only three people have played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and earned over 100 caps. Only three. They are Joseph Yobo, Vincent Enyama, and Ahmed Musa. In that order, So today we are privileged to be speaking with someone who earned over 100 caps for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. My guest is the person I always refer to as Skipo. My guest is Joseph Yobo. Skipo, thank you for this opportunity to speak to you. It's not every time that you sit down and have the chance of speaking to a legend of the Nigerian game. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Toyin. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How do we start? Let's start with the Super Eagles.
Okay.
Let's start with the Super Eagles because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But let's start with the Super Eagles. We have two crucial games against Rwanda and South Africa. You've been with this team. You played almost 15 years with the Super Eagles as captain, as leader in that team. How would you speak to these boys, speak to the coaches? How would you want them to approach these two games against Rwanda and against South Africa?
I think, like you said, these are huge games. It doesn't get any bigger because it's a World Cup qualifying ticket we're looking for. And if we do well, the whole nation is happy. If we don't, it also affects everybody. So it's not just the football family. It's a whole nation that is involved in games like this. From my experience, we've been there, done it. It's always a Herculean task, but some way, somehow, we skate through. God comes through for us as well. But now we're here, and I've seen this team play. I followed them. I watched the game against Rwanda away, and the game we drew in Uyo, our last game. And I think the coach is also somebody that I think he's attentive to details. I've had a chat with him. I can see where he's going. What he needs is maximum support. Not blame my trumpet, but I wish I was around him. Yeah, because he's a foreigner in Nigeria, but he knows his football. He knows his onions. He knows his players. He knows what he wants and the expectation. But talking about these two games, I think it's Rwanda first, right?
Yes.
We beat them before. We have to.
And they also beat us before.
Yeah.
In Uyo. Yeah. But we beat them the last time 2-0.
We beat them the last time 2-0 away. And it was a pressured game. I was there. I saw how we played. We were a bit cautious. We played to our strength because it was a must-win game. And our opportunities came thanks to the team, but most importantly to Osimhen. I think those goals were very difficult. Those were one of his best goals that I would say I've seen him play for Nigeria. But that being said, it was a tactical game because we knew that if we conceded, it would be a huge task for us to go ahead and score two. And that's the same approach. Go in with confidence, but make sure you stay in the game. I play from the back. So when you concede a goal, that means your tactics, your plans have to alter. Your players and the system, everything changes because now you're chasing the game. So as much as we want to win this game, we must stay in this game till the end. That means defensively, we have to be structured. Midfield-wise, you can only take chances maybe up front because we have fantastic players. But that being said, it's a game that if I were in the team, it's a 1-0 game. You're lucky to win 2-0. But these are the kind of game that you know that clean sheet is everything. When you keep a clean sheet with the kind of players that we have, I don't see a way that we will not score one goal. So the focus should be more on being clinical, defensively, being organized as a unit. Don't give them any chances. And players' psychology is, when you start the game, when they're not getting those half chances, they know it's going to be a tough day. So slowly they'll start declining mentally. But if you start the game and they see that, okay, there are half chances here and there, then it becomes an open game. But for the Nigerian team, keep it solid, keep it defensive, keep your defensive structure, be organized, don't let anything go easily. Most importantly, stay in the game till the last minute, because we have players that can come on the game last 15 minutes and actually change the game if we're chasing the goal. So my take will be till the last 15 minutes, stay in the game and bring in players that can actually carry the ball and go one-on-one, and with their individual ability, they can win us the game.
You've spoken about the coach now. You've spoken about the players staying in the game and all of that. What about the fans? What about the Football Federation? What would you say to them? What role can they play in helping the Super Eagles get the kind of result we need for these two games?
No, first I'll go with the Football Federation. Just like everything they've done, but we're at a critical stage now where welfare, travel plans, hotel, everything. You don't want to give players any reason to complain. Financial reason, whatever reason. Now the NFF, the football organization, and the football family has to come together and deliver their own part. These players are professionals. I don't, from my experience and knowing them, even as a coach before, they're high-profile players. They know what to do at the right time. They just need to be remembered, like encourage them and all of that. So the federation needs to keep doing what they're doing, but this is at the highest level now where there are no excuses. So if there are any things that players may want to complain about, I think it's better they settle it in these early days before the game, not towards the end of the game. These are the kind of games that you don't want players having those internal meetings before the match. From my experience, as much as everything doesn't come to the surface, but psychologically, mentally, it could affect one or two. So make sure that everybody is in a good mood and the only focus is winning this game. And then leave it to the players and the technical team to do their own part. And then for the fans, we do need the fans. You need the stadium to be electrifying, to be intimidating. We've always done that. We have a good fan base, but this is about a World Cup ticket. And it will be a disaster if we don't qualify back-to-back. It will affect myself, it will affect you, it will affect everybody, even the nation. So we need everybody to come together, especially the fans, to keep doing what they're doing. But now we need more. Let the players, let the visitors feel the presence of the fans. There are some stadiums you go to and you feel intimidated. We want our stadium to make the visitors feel intimidated, because that plays a role, no matter how you look at it. That little 5% of intimidation, the crowd coming out, cheering, encouraging the boys, it helps them to see the finish line.
Skippo, are you sure, confident that the Eagles can still qualify for the World Cup?
Yes, I think so. Like I said, I know this crop of players from being assistant coach. So most of them have been around. I know what they can do. And that was like 2-3 years ago. Now they're more matured. They're more improved. So they're leaders on their own. So I trust the players. Even the manager coming in, I said earlier, I've had a chat with him. I think he's a good manager. He just needs a whole lot of support because it's a different system. And I actually believe that this team, if they do the right thing, one game at a time, stay in the game, understand that these are games you need clean sheets to win. And these are games you might win 1-0. So if we do that correctly, I actually believe that we can win every game. But if we start chasing games and let people come at us, when we concede, it's another down part of our team. Because I don't see this team coming. They can do it because it's football, but it's a lot harder to come back from a 1-0. That means you need 2 goals. Be chasing the game. That means you need 2 goals. And that means your whole plans will be altered. But if you're in the game, you only need 1 to win. So from a defensive perspective, as a former defender, a former captain, stay in the game all the time, play to your strength, and we can always
try to keep a clean sheet and then
be clinical. Like I mentioned to Simon, I saw the game against Rwanda. He had 2 chances and he buried them. The first one was the most important one because at that point we were in charge of the game. Though the altitude was very high, we were conserving our energy because we couldn't fly all over the places. And these are things that we have to do better. Manage the game. Game management is very important, especially at home. Try and dictate the pace of the game. Know when to go slow and know when to go fast. But yeah, I think that's it.
There's a question I've asked people in the NFF, people in the National Sports Commission, top officials around in government and everywhere, and no one has been able to answer the question. Let me pose that same question to you, because I know you probably will have a way to answer it. What if the Super Eagles fail to make it to the World Cup? What if? Let me ask you that same question.
It'll be
What
bad.
happens if it doesn't go the way we
I think
plan?
it'll be a disaster because that's back to back. You're talking of Nigeria. We are giants of Africa, also in football. So
And 9
why are
African
we-
teams are going, 10 are going to
and
the
why
World Cup.
Nigeria, with the crop of players and caliber of players that we do have, let's say the first one was a mistake. How did we get ourselves here? It's like you're calling the coach as well. He's not Messiah. He's not come and do magic. How did we get ourselves here? So we have to also look inwards on what we have done wrong. But I believe it won't be good for Nigeria as a nation. It won't be good for the football family and also for the players because they need the World Cup to also raise their profile to make moves. We know how important the World Cup is. I watched the last World Cup and it was sad not to see Nigeria there. But this, if it happens again, I pray not. I hope not. I'm not even thinking about it at all. But if it does, 1%, that Nigeria doesn't make it, then it's a disaster because something went wrong from the origin, from the beginning, that wasn't fixed.
Absolutely, I agree with you because we've played 6 games, we've won only 1. We've not won a game at home.
In
and
6.
We've played Lesotho, we've played Zimbabwe. So, well, as you said, let's hope that it doesn't happen. There's a possibility, but let's hope.
Yeah, let's just hope. I'm not even thinking about it. Now I'm a fan. I love Nigerian football.
Yes,
I've done my own bit. So thinking I'm going to be watching the World Cup without Nigeria for the second time. In fact, I'm not even thinking about it. Honestly, yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Let's move on now and talk about you. You were assistant coach of the Super Eagles at some point. I worked with you as well briefly as media officer before I left. But a lot of people believe you have a lot to give the game as a coach. Are you thinking along that line? You are close to David Moyes. You understand the game. When you speak, you know. I mean, you can't play at the level that you played up to and not understand the game. Are you thinking along that line of a coaching badge, of something along the line, going fully into coaching? Is that something you are considering?
Yeah, coaching came naturally to me. The reason I didn't like coaching, I could have done everything when I was playing for Everton. Because, like I said, the structure that I came from, the leadership came from the back. And you don't play for that long years without knowing. But that being said, I got the opportunity after COVID to come into the coaching sector. Part of the reason why I did not really want to be a coach, I didn't really push too much, was I also saw my other coaches. I was, even when I wasn't captain, I was a leader in the team. So I relate with my coaches, and it wasn't impressive, honestly. There are certain things you cannot say. So it wasn't impressive. Like, I looked at myself, I'm like, am I going to finish my career and become a coach? The reason I became a coach was because I was called to do it. I loved it even more than I thought. Like you rightly mentioned, we've worked together. I have a lot to give. It's something like, sometimes in life, there is no better fulfillment than passing your knowledge. It's like teachers, people that went to school.
Absolutely.
So when I started coaching, I realized that, there's a lot to give to the younger generation. But if the environment is not very conducive, I don't think, compared to where we're coming from, someone like myself played for the national team for many years, over a decade, played at the World Cup and AFCON. I've seen so many things happen, around this organization. And then with my European experience, so you tend to understand that I struggle how it will work. Because here in it looks like a system that, there has to be loyalty. I don't think there should be loyalty in football and sports.
It should be competence.
Yes, competence. We're practical people. So someone like myself, I would speak out. Even as an assistant coach, there are a lot of things that I saw that originally, me being me, former captain I'll speak out. Because I went through the whole ranks. No one is going to come to me and then tell me something new about Eagles that I played for 13, 14 years. So I know everything. I've seen these things. Am I seeing changes? Yes. We're doing better, but not really at the level. So coaching is something, like I said, came natural to me. I would love to do it, but I don't think there's encouragement in that sector.
What about doing it in Europe? Or,
Yeah, that's another option.
Yeah.
But then because, my family are here, I brought my family back. I have other things that I'm doing over here. So my focus is more here. If I'll tell you 100% today. If I were in Europe, I'll be coaching. So now you see the difference.
Yeah.
Moses, but if I were in Europe, I'll definitely be in coaching. But I'm here.
So you have to
why
do
am I not
something
doing
else.
it? I have my personal things that I do, but there is an opportunity for coaching, but I'm not really encouraged to go into that sector. It's also not even we're not also encouraging the younger generations, because this is work. The same way we played. When you come into coaching, that's your livelihood. You must give everything you've got. And in return, how do you take care of your family? You understand? So we can have this conversation and it will drag for days, because where you work is where you eat. If what you are being paid as a coach in Nigeria does not make you to be able to take care of your family, definitely there will be corruption in the system. We have to look at the welfare, tell ourselves the truth, because I don't see our indigenous coaches being well taken care of. I believe that we can do better. We're trying, they're raising the bar slowly, but I actually believe that we can do better. Because you hear all these things that coaches took money from this. It didn't happen to me. I never even heard it. It's after I retired, I started hearing people's interview that coaches used to take money from people. But now I didn't see it coming anywhere. So these are the little things that you see. Maybe people that lived here, coached here, can handle it better than those that actually played professional football abroad. And when you talk about professional football, you're talking at the highest level.
Yeah.
So when you play at the highest level with the highest players, coaches, organizations, when you come here, because especially Super Eagles is huge, there should be a standard. Like I said, we've seen improvement, but as a big nation, as Nigeria, a footballing nation, we can always do better. There's room for improvement.
I'm going to ask you, since you talked about it, about life after professional football, what you are doing now, but because you talked about indigenous coaches, let me just quickly put in this question. The debate about foreign, indigenous, the treatment of foreign, indigenous, what would you want to say about it? The difference in the way we treat our own and how we treat a foreigner, respect for foreign coaches, no respect for indigenous coaches. What can you say about it? Because you played at the highest level in the national team for both a foreign coach and you played also under indigenous coaches.
I'll say they're both good, but you were the media officer, so we've worked in the same organization and we know the truth. The truth is the foreign coaches are given a bit more preference. If they could translate that to the local coaches, we've seen some very good coaches. Like, how do you compare people with someone like Stephen Keshi, Austin Eguavon, late Shaibo Amodu that qualified us but never went? So just to name a few, Coach Samson Siasia when he was at his peak. We've had good coaches, but this also brings me to the welfare packages. Understand? Because this is what they do for a living. Most of these people have also played abroad. So coming back home, they should also, and they're legends coming into, if you have something to offer, it should also reflect in what you're taking home. If you don't have something to offer, don't even get close to that organization. So no favors. But if they're actually head coaches, Super Eagles coaches, and they're not well treated, and they're not given freedom to operate, we used to hear. I haven't really witnessed officials getting involved in team list and all of that. My era was a bit different, and I was also direct. But I hear these things. But I believe that if our indigenous coaches are also encouraged, the very good ones, the elite ones, they can do
who
as
probably
good as
have
a
played
foreign
abroad to the highest level.
They can, because they understand from the field activity. Now you have
translating to the pitch or the classroom,
from the coaching. Yes, so they know all of these things. They know how to manage players and know all of these things. But I just feel like if the elite coaches are encouraged the way the foreign coaches are, then we have some coaches
can
that
get a lot more from our indigenous coaches.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for that insight.